32 points on 12 of 25 from the field and 6 assists in the ball game. Once again,
John Wallace, the rookie, gets the start for the 4th straight game for an injured Larry Johnson. Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley complete the starting 5. And for the Houston Rockets, Clyde Drexler and rookie Matt Maloney in the backcourt, Mario Elie, Akeem Olajuwon, and up front. And we have been joined again tonight by Craig Sager. Let's check in with Craig right now.
Well, the last time Charles Barkley and Charles Oakley got together, tempers were rising and fists were flying. And Sir Charles says he has a score to settle.
I remember what happened. He cheap shot at me. I do. I tried to punch him in the head. Trust me, I'm going to try to punch him in the head, too.
Even though you got suspended?
I don't care about that. You don't let people slam you down.
So you're carrying a grudge into this game?
I always carry a grudge to somebody do something to me wrong. I don't ever forgive and forget. I'm from that old school, an eye for an eye. I hope nothing happens, but if something does happen, I'm going to defend myself.
As for Oakley, he says it's not the first time he hit Barkley, and it won't be the last. Expletives aside, I'm not afraid of Barkley or anybody in this league. Vern, Doc.
All right, sounds like a biblical battle coming up here.
Yes, it does. It sounds like a good one between 2 big men. I like watching games like that.
Clyde Drexler and his teammates have lost their last 2 games at home. They lost here to Portland and the Clippers, then went on the road for 4 games in 5 nights. They won the first 3, but then lost Sunday night to the Chicago Bulls. And the New York Knicks come in having won 17 of their last 20. Hugh Hollins, Paul Mihalik, and Hank Armstrong are the officiating crew, and we'll jump it again.
Yeah, it's interesting watching Oakley and Barkley when they walked out on the floor. Oakley made a point not to look at him, not to shake his hand. That's the message early.
Anybody want to try it a 3rd time? It is called jump ball after all. And Olajuwon steals and gets it on the way up.
That was just as bad.
Barkley for 3. Nice way to open the game.
Yes, and I think that's the message also.
Charles, who was limited to only 7 points in his confrontation with Dennis Rodman on Sunday night, and he's not been shooting well the last 4 games. Here's Ewing, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
And that's the guy you want to get off early. They don't double team Akeem a lot, and every time Patrick can score, that's great for his confidence against Akeem Olajuwon.
Maloney brings it up. A little bit of pressure supplied by Chris Childs, who's back in the lineup for the 2nd night. Now he missed 3 games with back spasms. Here's Barkley. Passes on the 3 as Oakley comes out to confront him. Thrown away. First turnover of the night.
It's Knicks ball.
Chris Childs. Here's John Wallace. 19 points in the win over Boston at the Garden on Sunday night. That's his season high. And that's a career high. Olajuwon takes it away from Ewing.
And that's what Jeff Van Gundy was worried about early, are the Knicks turnovers and being scored off a turnover.
Oakley and Barkley. That's the 3 again. Too strong. Allen Houston gets the rebound. Knicks will bring it up quickly. Here's Oakley with the jumper at the other end. It's a 4-3 New York game. Maloney picked up by Childs. Matt Maloney now entrenched at that guard position, having a terrific rookie season after 5 years in the CBA, taken away by Chris Childs. Speaking of a long time in the CBA, Childs 6 teams in 5 years in that league.
Yeah, he's a survivor. There's a bunch of survivors in the CBA now. I think that makes them better NBA players because they understand what it takes, and they like it when they get here.
Maloney for 3 off the feed from Drexler.
You know, Maloney has played so well. People forget the Rockets brought Brent Price in to do that, and Brent Price can't get his job back because Maloney's played so well.
Brent Price is back on the active roster now. He missed the first 2 months of the season. Here's Elie with the steal. This will be a layup.
Vern, this is exactly what Van Gundy did not want. He said before the game that the Knicks are prone by turnovers, and because they have 3 big guys, they don't get back in time, and teams are scoring off those turnovers, and they can't have that if they want to win tonight.
Here's Childs at the other end. That's for 3 for Chris Childs. Well, to emphasize that point, early in the season, New York was averaging 22 turnovers per game. They've got it down to 19, but it's still high in the league. The irony in that is that Houston doesn't force a lot of turnovers, so interesting stat to keep tonight. Elijah Wan. Again, 7 Houston back on top.
There's certain games that you can feel different intensity, and already, right, you can see it, you can feel it in this arena right now.
Mario Ellie gets called for this foul. They elected to steal.
Yeah, and this is just a turnover caused by carelessness and misreading, and that is one of the things when you bring in 7 new players, you're going to have that. The problem is you're giving up easy buckets. The Knicks can't afford to give up easy buckets to the Rockets tonight.
Saw the turnover story at 2 and 2. John Wallace says the 3rd turnover early in the game. Ellie back to Drexler. Can't hang on. That'll be New York's ball to throw inbounds. But this is exactly what Van Gundy did not want to see.
No, he does not want to see this. And at least the last term, you saw everyone get back. They called the turnover and got the ball back. The Knicks do cause a lot of turnovers. The problem is they give it right back.
Childs finds Ewing. No, tipped away by Drexler. Then Oakley gets it back. Wallace on the block, and he travels. 4 turnovers.
And if you're a Knicks fan, you should expect this. You should expect turnovers like this from this team, because for this team, though they're veterans on this team, it's still a young team when it comes to big games. These guys aren't used to each other in big games.
Maloney finds Barkley. No double team coming on Barkley. He backs Oakley in. My goodness. Gets the bounce and has the free throw. Oh, he took Oakley strong to the basket.
Yeah, he really did. It looked like 2 Rams running into each other right there. Oakley tries to lose contact to make Charles Barkley lose balance. Barkley keeps his balance and instead draws a 3-point play.
Now, this is a good start for Barkley, who really was upset at the way the plays were called in the game against Chicago. He complained a little bit about the fact they went to Elijah Wan on the same play every time down in the second half.
Well, he better get used to it.
No kidding.
Because they're going to do it again tonight. They brought Charles in to score, obviously, more, though, to rebound. And if you look at his numbers, he has helped this team in rebounding.
2 of 11 in that loss to Chicago, along with only 7 rebounds. And it's a 13-7 game now. A 10-3 Houston run. Goaltending on Elijah Wan. So the basket goes to John Wallace.
Yeah. And if they're going to play Clyde Drexler on John Wallace, that ball is going down to John Wallace all day. They're not respecting John Wallace's offensive game, and he has a lot of offense.
Allen Houston picks up Drexler. Little pick and roll with Elijah Wan over Ewing. Got another one. 15-9. Houston leads. Nearly midway through the first quarter. Allen Houston trying to be aggressive and has to kick it outside. Wallace misses. Here comes Barkley. Knicks back in transition underneath to Elijah Wan. Too strong. Gets his own follow, puts it up, knocked out of bounds. It'll be New York ball. It was last touched by Barkley.
I'll tell you what, Patrick Ewing might have gotten away with a goaltending right there. He hit the backboard so hard that might have shaken the ball off the rim.
Chris Childs picked up by Matt Maloney. Oakley with the screen. Childs in and out. Allen Houston puts it quickly back up in Kansas.
Well, they have to be happy to see that. They want Allen Houston to score more. He says he's not a catch-and-shoot player. He likes ISO.
Well, and he says he's trying to fit in. I think the consensus is they don't want him to fit in anymore. Take charge.
Yeah, and they do. And that's a tough position for him to do.
Well, we've reached our first timeout. 6:48 to go in the opening quarter, and the Rockets lead by 4.
Kid, you got the talent, but you got a problem.
You're too nice. I'm gonna make you bad.
Okay, Mr. Lambert.
Very good.
Friday night, NBA on TNT. Vancouver is a big country kind of place. The kind of country Karl Malone likes to drive through. Jazz Grizzlies, Friday night at 9 Eastern. The NBA's on TNT. Don't miss a game.
I've got a problem. I love to read. So when I start a good book, I can't put it down. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I have to keep reading. Then as soon as I finish, I can't wait to start the next one. I better get started.
Start with the global resources of CNN, add the style and savvy of Sports Illustrated, and you get what the Associated Press calls a blockbuster. CNN SI, the 24-hour sports news network.
We're beginning to realize what our niche is, and our niche is defending and rebounding. And when you bring so many new players into the fold, it just takes a while for you to gel as a team. And I think we're responding. We're playing very well and reading each other a lot better. We still turn the basketball over, which I still think is our Achilles heel right now. But outside of that, I think it's a lot of room for improvement. And once we get to the next level where Chicago is, then I guess that we have arrived.
After years in New Jersey and in Portland, Buck Williams with the Knicks, and he is among those who's playing very well.
Yeah, he really is. And they brought him in here to be a defensive player. They're more surprised at his offense. They knew what they were going to get with his rebounding and defense, but he is one of the better offensive players on this team already. He's a guy that you know exactly what you're going to get. He's not going to do anything differently, and that's why Van Gundy loves him.
See the story on turnovers thus far. Here's Drexler. John Wallace has Mario Elie. Olajuwon in and out. Rebound Patrick Ewing. Ewing with 30 points plus in each of the last two games, that weekend series against Boston. The so-called throwback series. Here's Ewing with a nice strong move. Does not get the roll, and Barkley clears the ball. Picked up by John Wallace. Now he kicks it over to Olajuwon. Barkley with the rebound. Up, knocked cleanly away by Wallace. And Charles thought he might get a call. Did not. Here's Ewing at the other end, and he gets the call on Drexler.
Whoa. Yeah, I tell you what, Barkley gets hammered, and so does Ewing. I'm surprised, very surprised, that Barkley didn't get that call, especially when you look at who fouled him. And that was John Wallace, a rookie.
And at the other end, Drexler gets the call, his first, and Ewing goes to the line. Patrick, as we mentioned, with a 30-point effort against Boston on Saturday night. That was preceded by a 31-point effort in Boston on Friday, and you can see how he has excelled at the free throw line in the last few games.
Shooting free throws, he's doing everything well right now. You keep hearing the line, show me the money. It's his contract year, but he's just playing basketball because he wants to win a championship.
Well, David Falk, his agent, has said there will be no contract negotiations until July 1st. Underneath, the feed from Barkley, and Elie can't make it go. There's Olajuwon with a loose ball. Another turnover. Drexler, the jumper over Oakley for three.
Another turnover, another basket off the turnover. And Hakeem Olajuwon has the best hands in the league at the center position.
And not a surprise that Houston has gone back to the three-point play. Under Tom Janovich, they have excelled with the three-point basket. 5:21, alley-oop, Allen Houston.
Wow.
Off the feed from Wallace.
He's a shooter, but he can also get off the ground, because I didn't think he had any chance of getting that basketball.
18-15, Rockets by three. Maloney goes by Childs. Dishes back to Olajuwon. Ewing out. Now here's Elie and Drexler for three again. Good job by Barkley. Loose ball foul called on Charles Barkley. And the call is made by Paul Mihalik. Now he's going to get... No, they didn't tee him up. I thought they might.
Well, they're being very nice not to. He just threw the ball in the crowd.
Yep.
And he did foul. He went over Chris Childs' back. He's more upset at the non-call the play before that, and that's why he's venting his anger right now. But that was a foul.
Chris Childs and the Knicks trailing by three, 4:50 to go, opening quarter. Allen Houston Wallace, nice job of fighting for the rebound, but it goes right to Maloney. 2-on-2 as the Rockets come down. Barkley for three. Yes.
Boy, he's shooting that well. And in most cases, you don't mind him taking that shot if you're the Knicks. Now he's starting to run his mouth a little bit, and the rest will watch that.
Yeah, Barkley is still jawing at Charles Oakley. You didn't really think that Charles Barkley was going to keep quiet for long, did you?
Repeat after me. It's a whole new Hyundai. It's a whole new Hyundai. It's a whole new Hyundai. Are you with me now? Okay, pop quiz. The brand new 97 sedan that's roomier than Camry is achingly beautiful and has a warranty that would be your basic mother of all reliability statements. Yes, that would be the Hyundai Sonata. And right now, you can get $1,000 cash back. So there's just one more thing. It's called a test drive. So, get in the car. Now.
Hey, I'm Joe Bob Briggs in New Orleans for the big game, and I got the biggest, weirdest tailgate party in town. I got 16 hours of back-to-back monster movies. We got killer robots, teenage vampires, good witches, bad witches. Even the Day of Ill himself is going to make an appearance.
Look at me, Damien.
So get that lazy boy into position. I do not want to have to tell you a second time.
Watch Super Monster Vision, starting with The Omen at 2, Sunday, January 26th on TNT.
This January on TNT, witness the laws of nature in action. Some will fight. Some will flee. It's predator versus prey. And only the strongest will survive. This January, step into the wild on TNT.
Well, since December 1st, no surprise to find Chicago atop with the best record in the NBA. But how about them Knicks?
I tell you what, those Knicks are playing great. You look at that list, there's a ton of good basketball teams in the NBA. Everyone's talking about how the league is not that good anymore. I remember when I first came in the league, there was only 2 good teams every year, the Lakers and the Celtics. Now there's 6, 7, maybe 8 teams that has a chance of winning the championship.
Oh, you look at the Midwest division with Chicago, not Midwest, but Chicago. What, every team save 2 is above 500 in the division.
That's pretty awesome. They have a chance of having 11 teams in the East be over 500.
Ewing can't get it. Barkley with another rebound. And Elijah Wan and Ewing have a few words to say to each other. Barkley, he feels it now, but that one won't go. And Ewing clears it. Gets it out to Allen Houston. 21-15, 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Another New York turnover. Well, these have become 2 good rebounding teams. Take a look at Oakley and Barkley.
And that's the reason they're 2 good rebounding teams. When you got 2 guys like that willing to fight every time for the ball, you're going to have a good rebounding team.
In their loss to Chicago, Houston was out-rebounded by 18. And I think they were embarrassed by that. Elijah Wan. That one knocked out of bounds by Elijah Wan, but it'll be New York's ball.
And just look at Elijah Wan's hands. Even on that play against a guard, he still gets him in there. He has the quickest hands, again, in the league at his position, and he causes a lot of problems for big men with his hands.
Giles on the dribble, picked up by Maloney. Ewing calls for it. They work it around to the right side. Here's Oakley. Little pump fake. Nice play.
Yeah, that was a nice play. That's a bonus, because the Knicks aren't looking for that. They're not used to seeing Charles Oakley score on the post. I'm not used to seeing them go to Charles Oakley on the post. That was the play Jeff Van Gundy called in the timeout because Charles Barkley was running his mouth, and he wanted to repay his Warriors.
Kevin Willis and John Starks getting ready to come into the ball game. Here's Drexler for 2. So the Rockets have the answer, and it's back to a 6-point game. We're under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
You can see Drexler and Barkley, who both had bad games against Chicago, come out to tell people that was a fluke. We can play.
Now, Clyde Drexler in that Chicago game was 3 of 11 for 7 points. There's Chris Giles with a 3-pointer.
That's the second one. He missed another wide open one. Matt Maloney is going under on the pick and rolls, and Chris Giles will take that shot.
Giles 2 of 2. Maloney cuts through. Well, they work it around right side. There's the defensive switch. Drexler, Barkley, got it. Foul by Wallace, goes to the free throw line.
Now, that was a great play. That was a great play by Clyde Drexler. And the one thing that Van Gundy was worried about was Charles Oakley helping too much and giving Charles Barkley shots like that. Charles Oakley is a great help defender, but he wants him to stay home a little bit more tonight because he's worried if you leave him, if you leave Barkley, Barkley's going to make bad things happen to your team.
Foul called on Patrick Ewing, his first. Barkley with a chance to pick up his 12th first quarter point. Had a monster game on the road against Philadelphia last week with 25 rebounds in that win. But he had not been shooting well in the 2 games on the road prior to that.
Yeah, he's punished Philadelphia ever since they traded him.
Right. 26-20, 2:09 to go, first quarter of play. Starks in, they lose it.
Wow.
Buck Williams getting ready to come in for the Knicks.
I'm glad we talked about turnovers before the game because they are just giving the ball to the Rockets every single time right now.
Van Gundy said he had 2 concerns tonight. One was turnovers, and he also did not want to have Houston at the free throw line where they go to the line an awful lot. Over 1,000 times already this season. Willis. Kevin Willis short with a shot. Here comes John Starks. Starks revisits the site of one of his lowest points here, Game 7 of the 94 finals when he went 2 of 18. But the Knicks have won the last 4 regular season games against the Rockets. And John Starks had played big roles in those games, particularly here.
Yeah, he really has. He's bounced back from that, obviously. If you look at the Knicks, they have 8 turnovers already in this game. That's amazing. They can't keep that rate up and win.
Barkley, 12 points already. Up and under, make it 14.
Boy. Oh, he's going right at Charles Oakley. And in Oakley's defense, he's not going to get the ball as much as Charles Barkley. So he shouldn't get into a match with him because he's not going to outscore him.
Biggest lead of the first quarter now for the Rockets. Randy Livingston has come on the floor, and he picks up Chris Childs. Childs goes right by him.
Chris Childs.
Good screen to get him out of the way. Here's Randy Livingston, a rookie, picked in the 2nd round out of LSU, where he had 2 injury-plagued seasons. Oh, what a pass. And this kid loves to pass the basketball and can do so very well.
Yeah, the difference between him and Matt Maloney is a guy who can shoot the jumper. Randy Livingston wants to drive to the basket, make things happen, and dish it off.
Final 36 seconds of the first quarter. Here's Starks. That was for 2. Kevin Willis with a rebound. As Elijah Wan gets the rest for the final couple of minutes of the first quarter. Drexler. He'll go to the free throw line.
Foul is on number 3.
Let's revisit this confrontation with Oakley and Barkley.
You can look at this, and Charles Barkley's going to get this all day. One of the things the Knicks do not like doing is double team. They feel if you double team, it weakens the team defense. Oakley basically right now is down there by himself, and at the last minute you can see John Starks try to help out. That's a tough matchup for anybody to guard Charles Barkley by themselves.
Drexler will shoot one more. He's a 76% free throw shooter over the course of the season. Back to an 8-point margin. Clyde Drexler was 7 points, had that quiet night in Chicago. So the 2 guys who were really disappointed with particularly their offensive performances in the Windy City have come back big in the first quarter tonight.
Especially, obviously, Barkley, but Drexler has had a habit of when he has a bad game, he comes back and backs it up with a great game.
Underneath, what a pass.
What a pass by Chris Childs.
Whoa, Buck Williams was the happy recipient of the ball. Ellie, we have reached the end of one. Charles Barkley with a terrific first quarter before the hometown fans. 14 points for Barkley on 5 of 9 shooting. And the Rockets are up by 6 at the end of one.
Some people think he is a hero.
Name's Cable.
This is my home.
Other people think he's a traitor.
You don't belong here.
But most people want him dead. Emmy Award winner Tom Selleck, Keith Carradine, and David Carradine star in a story of survival. Elmore Leonard's Last Stand at Sabre River. World premiere Sunday at 8, only on TNT, the best movie studio on television.
Precious Hotline, what's your problem? We're stuck with skunky beer.
So it's not Budweiser?
No.
Remain calm, sir. We're on our way.
Next time, look for this.
New Born on Dating from Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better.
Precious Hotline.
Could we order some Chinese?
What do I want to ask Alan Iverson?
Hey, Alan, do you like to play in the zone?
Hey, Alan, what do you think about Philly?
Hey, Iverson, you want to go one-on-one?
Hey, Alan, you think you can take me?
I don't think so.
Hey, Alan, how high can you jump?
When do you plan to have a ring on your finger?
Hey, Alan, how fast are you?
And when you coming down for a cheesesteak?
Yo, Al, what's up with
those shoes?
Alan, what's up with the shoes? These are good questions. Very good questions.
Everyone's getting a kick out of Jackie Chan's First Strike. It's the kind of pure entertainment Hollywood hardly makes anymore. It's more fun than any 007 flick of the last dozen years. Nobody's action movies are more fun than Jackie Chan. He's the world's top action star. Jackie Chan's First Strike, rated PG-13, now playing.
Those of us who spent much of our lives in this state realize what ice storms can do to cities which are unprepared for them. But we can also appreciate the music of the great Western swing band Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. I'm sure Jeff Van Gundy in his upbringing loved Western swing music, huh?
He might have.
I don't think so. Second year as a coach, 6 years as an assistant. Doc, you know him very well. He is really prepared, isn't he?
He really is. He gets his team prepared. He practices them hard. You know, it's funny. He's really tough on them, but they really like him. That's a great trait to have if you're a coach.
Charles Ward has joined Chris Childs and John Starks in the backcourt now as Van Gundy goes with the 3-guard set on the floor. Here's Starks. Goes inside. Kevin Willis gets the rebound as Elijah Wan continues to rest. Randy Livingston at the point now. Barkley stays on the floor. Here's Kevin Willis. He'll pass him the shot. Barkley won't. No. Double team comes from Starks. That leaves Sam Mack open, and he catches air. That's great if you're running moguls on a ski resort.
Yeah, boy.
But not so good. And here's another steal from Drexler. Oh, what a pass. Sam Mack. Beautiful play from the veteran Clyde Drexler.
That's the 9th New York turnover and the 12th point off the turnover. They can't keep doing this. The Rockets shot 59% in the first quarter, and they shot it because they got so many turnovers.
Starks off the dribble. Blocked by Kevin Willis. There's Mack. He goes left side back to Barkley, and they caught a photographer right in the lens. But another turnover, that's 10.
Just one after another, and once they get it, they run. The Rockets don't run unless they get turnovers. Right now, they're running because they're getting a lot of turnovers.
There's Oakley come over to set the screen for John Starks. He takes the jumper for 3. Rebound Livingston for Houston. Starks 0 for 4. Foul called on the shot.
And for the Knicks, it's one shot and you're out, and the Rockets are off and running. The one thing that Jeff Van Gundy has always been concerned about with this team is transition D with the big guys, and right now it looks like the Rockets have known that, and their big guys are really running out on the break. Kevin Willis on that play was under the boards and got the ball, and now he's on the free throw line.
Gets the first tomorrow night. The Magic goes into Dallas to take on the Mavericks on TBS. On Friday night, Utah goes north of the border to meet Vancouver. And then a week from tonight, Doc and I will be in Chicago as these same New York Knicks take on the Chicago Bulls.
Number 33, Patrick Ewing.
Look at those shoulders, Vern. I couldn't even buy those.
That's a little weight, huh? Weight work.
Yes, it is.
Ewing back on the... Buck Williams gets it. Let's set the lineup now. It's Charlie Ward who's got the ball. Williams, Ewing, Chris Childs, and John Starks. Almost another turnover. And for the Rockets, it's Randy Livingston. Brent Price has come on the floor now. The acquisition in the offseason who was thought to be the point guard until he suffered that broken elbow in one of the last preseason games in San Antonio.
And with this Van Gundy lineup, he has 2 point guards and a 2 guard out on the court right now. That has enabled Rudy to put Brent Price in the game.
Brent Price tries to get the rebound. Williams takes it away. And a fresh 24 now for the New York Knicks. They trail by 9. Childs. The runner, no. Loose ball picked up by Barkley. And Buck Williams picks him up. Knicks haven't gotten a field goal in the second quarter, and Buck Williams picks up another foul. Charles Barkley will go to the free throw line.
It really doesn't matter right now who's on Charles Barkley. He's dominating this basketball game. He's come with what Rudy was worried about with emotion. Well, he brought it tonight. Intensity is definitely here.
But he had that big game in Philly last week when he was 7 of 14, 18 points and 25 rebounds. But prior to that, he'd gone 2 for 12 in Cleveland, 3 for 11 in Minnesota. And then he had the games against Chicago that in which he didn't really help the team much. But tonight, wow.
And he's doing it all over. He's not just doing it on the offensive end. He's getting block shots. He's causing steals. He's playing great defense. And he's in Charles Oakley's head. He's in Buck Williams' head right now. But I can guarantee you both of those guys will be back, and they'll be fighting. Not literally fighting. At least we hope not.
First double-digit lead of the night. It's at 11. Allen Houston back on the floor now with Ward, Buck Williams, John Starks, and Ewing. Double team comes from Randy Livingston. That leaves Starks open, and he cans, or Houston rather, and he cans the 3.
Yeah, and that's where they need to go. They need to get some easy shots, and the only way they're going to get easy shots is by causing double teams. The only guy the Rockets will double team is Patrick Ewing. So go down to him and see what happens.
Barkley. Over to Price. Gets the 3. That is his first three-pointer of the season. He had been 0 for 10 since coming off the injured list. Not only does he can the 3, he shoots the free throw. It was a year ago tomorrow night he began a streak in which he hit 13 straight three-pointers.
And what caused that shot was a break by Kevin Willis. Kevin Willis breaks the lane. Charlie Ward has to pick him up and then try to get back. You can't do both. At least you can't do both in time.
Took a while, but we found him. And it's a 4-point play for Brent Price, 38-27. Twenty-second timeout.
You know, you look at both of these teams, and it's pretty surprising right now, Vern. The Rockets are playing with a lot of intensity, and the Knicks don't look like, at this point, they're playing hard, but they don't look like they have the fire right now, and this is a big game for them.
Let me correct the three-point call. Brent Price was inside the line, and that was a 2-point basket, so he's still looking for his first 3 of the season.
Well, you knew he was going to make the free throw.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-point play, however you can get it.
Yes.
We talked a while ago about this Central Division. Look at the standings, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, what you should look at is the bottom 2 teams, or the bottom 3 teams. Indiana and Milwaukee will be over 500 when this year is out. And look at Toronto. Nobody wants to play Toronto. Darrell Walker right now has that team trapping everybody, driving them crazy. No one wants to go in Toronto and play them because they know if they're not hot, if they're not shooting the ball real well, they're going to lose.
Among the teams they have defeated this year, the Houston Rockets.
Chicago Bulls.
Right.
Utah Jazz.
Pretty good trio. Here's Ward for 3. Buck Williams gets the offensive board, throws it out to Houston. Brent Price goes for the steal. It was exactly that kind of play in which Brent Price broke that left elbow.
Yeah, and it was right in front of us.
Exactly.
That was almost deja vu. All over again.
I don't mind a redundancy now and then. Allen Houston will inbound. Knicks 1 of 6 from the floor here in the second period, and they trail by 11, 38-27. Brent Price.
But if you look at that play right there, what we just saw right in front of us, Allen Houston had the inside track to that ball, and Brent Price went harder at it. And they were very fortunate not to come up with it, or the Knicks were very fortunate that they didn't. And right now, that's effort and intensity.
Ward to Ewing, guarded by Kevin Willis. Tip. Another turnover. I don't think Tom Janovich was voting thumbs down on that.
No, he was not. Very happy.
10 turnovers now for the New York Knicks. Here's Price. Trap. They get it in the hands of Olajuwon, who's back in the floor. He had a pretty good rest. And here's the jump hook from Kevin Willis.
Yeah, like Rudy said, we can go to Kevin Willis. He won't draw the double team. We're not worried about his passing. We want him to score down there when he gets it.
Buck Williams can't get the ball to fall, so he'll go to the free throw line where he'll shoot 2 free throws. The foul is on Sam Mack. They can't buy a basket here in the second quarter.
So the reason they can't, because they're rarely getting a shot. Most of the time, they're turning the ball over. Each shot is so far and in between right now, they're having a tough time getting shots up and good shots, and they're feeling the pressure.
One more for Buck Williams. 63% free throw shooter.
He's never been a great free throw shooter, but, you know, I don't know if young people remember. This guy at one point was the dominant power forward in the game. He's been around a long time, and it looks like he has several years left.
As he reminded us this morning, and he says, you guys forget I played 5 years in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
40-28. Here's Willis. Olajuwon calls for it. Buck Williams is on him. Olajuwon for 2. And it's a 14-point Houston lead. Timeout called by the New York Knicks. Second quarter has been owned by the Rockets. They're up by 14.
Jazz Grizzlies, Friday night at 9 Eastern. The NBA's on TNT.
It's one of the most comfortable cars I've ever driven.
People love talking about Ford Taurus.
It's fun to drive. It really is.
With Taurus, you fit in no matter what size you are.
I'm big.
I'm surprised by how much room there is inside it.
Everybody in my family's big.
Just turn the wheel a fraction of an inch. The car responds.
There's a lot more room.
It's designed so I don't have to search for anything. The seats feel like they wrap around you.
It's a state-of-the-art car.
Ford Taurus, the best-selling car in America, starting at $18,545.
This car is a pleasure to drive.
I have fun.
Threaten a man's home, and he'll stop at nothing to protect it. Threaten a man's family, and his wrath is unending.
Name's Cable. This is my home.
Tom Selleck, Keith Carradine, and David Carradine star in a story of survival. Elmore Leonard's Last Stand at Sabre River. World premiere Sunday at 8, only on TNT, the best movie studio on television.
A father and his son square off in a head-to-head half-court battle. The father, a former NFL star, can't stop his son.
Hill gets the basket. What a terrific play by Grant Hill.
Playing his dad made Grant Hill feel like he could do anything. Now, on court in the NBA, he can.
Thanks, Dad.
See the NBA's best every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday night on TNT and TBS. Don't miss a game.
Here's the way it looks in the Atlantic Division coming into tonight. Miami won last night, but there's still a half game back. High expectations, Doc, for the Washington Bullets this year.
Yeah, it really was. You look at their youth, they have so many players. They have so much talent, and they didn't start out in the gates. But this is a young basketball team. I think they're still trying to learn how to play the game, and more importantly, learn how to play defense as a group. That's the one thing I don't think they've done well. But look at those numbers.
Not bad for Howard, Weber, and Strickland. And we're back to live action here with 7:48 to go in the first half. Ward finds Ewing. Traveled.
And he did. He did. I mean, look at this. Ewing hits his first shot, and he missed the next two, and he hasn't shot the ball since early in the first. That was his first shot attempt. the reason they're turning the ball over. They're trying to get the ball to him. They're just not getting it to him. It's a lot like the Chicago Lakers game when Shaq couldn't get the ball for the final 8 minutes of the game. You turn it over, you can't get it to your big guy.
Brent Price to Kevin Willis. Double team comes from Starks. Knocked away. Saved. And it'll be the Rockets ball with 9 on the 24. Rudy Tomjanovich in his 6th season as the head coach here with those back-to-back NBA championships in 94 and 95.
It's a shame you don't hear his name mentioned more as a great coach, because he is.
Elijah Wan. Randy Livingston gets it to go.
Right now, the Rockets are getting every shot they want. They get the ball to Barkley in the post, to Elijah Wan in the post. Drexler is getting threes. Willis is getting the ball in the post. Everything they want right now, they're getting.
Allen Houston finds Ewing, but Ewing has to adjust his shot. And here comes Brent Price for the Rockets. Dishes left side. Elijah Wan will pass. Charlie Ward picks up Brent Price. There's the pick and roll with Elijah Wan. Drexler to Willis. Turnaround jumper goes.
That's what they brought him in for. He's a scorer. He can really score down on the post, especially when there's no double teams coming.
In the second quarter, the Rockets 6 of 7 from the field. Conversely, New York can't buy a basket. Ward kicks it out to Houston. Still can't. Elijah Wan with a rebound. They're beating him on the boards as well. At the other end, Sam Mack, guarded by John Starks. Elijah Wan goes baseline. A rare miss. Ewing with a rebound. A 16-point, 46-28 lead. Houston over Sam Mack finally.
And he won't miss those. Those are the shots that he likes. He loves having the live dribble and being able to take a guy.
A turnover for the Rockets. Here's Allen Houston, right side for Starks. He spots up. Doesn't get the three. Willis clears the rebound. Third rebound now for Kevin Willis. A Houston team that has dramatically improved its rebounding skills this season, in large part because Barkley has joined them and takes an average of 15 a game. Starks is 0 for 5 in the ball game. Double team taken away by Starks. He's got Price back. Here comes Mack to help, and he gets the first basket of the night.
And the last 3 times down the court, for whatever reason, you can see more energy in the Knicks. Maybe they see themselves down now by 14 and they have to make something happen. But they're starting to do that, and that's why Rudy Tomjanovich just called a timeout.
20-second timeout taken with 5:08 to go in the first half of play. And they've now changed it to a full timeout. 46-32. Rockets lead by 14.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Fila. Change the game.
This is Ford Escort. Did you know that it's new? If you knew that it's new, did you know the wagon's new too? The engine is new, the suspension improved. A safety cell protects but stays out of view. It's quieter inside to shush out the out. But for those who simply must twist and shout, there's premium speakers on a new stereo, so you can get every note and get it to go. This Escort is great. This Escort is nice. This Escort has a very sensible price. So why not check out the newest Escort this season? We've given you every rhyme and rhymed every reason.
Ma, you gotta get me out of here. This is not a nice place. Picking up bad habits, Ma. They're making me do bad things. Will you blind out of my face? They're even trying to change the way I look. They can't get any worse than this. I said you got the wrong number, chump.
Oh, Granty. Meet George, your new personal trainer.
Nice to meet you.
Not nice.
Not nice. That's right. Not nice.
Watch the Knicks trap right here. John Starks will come down, trap the ball. Charlie Ward will take away the passing lane. They'll get a steal. They're starting to make things happen right now with their energy. Watch Starks come down and Charlie Ward rotate to take the passer away. And off and running, and that's what the Knicks are going to have to do to get back in this game. Turnovers and conversions.
During the timeout, Rudy Tomjanovich has gone back to Barkley and Ellie. They come in. And Drexler and Olajuwon stay on the floor, along with Randy Livingston at the point guard. John Wallace is back on the floor now, along with Houston, Ward, Oakley, and Buck Williams. Illegal defense, that's the first call tonight, so there's the warning.
And that was a quick, that ball was in the post and out, and they called it. That's a tough, quick illegal defense call.
Mario Ellie. There's Barkley, had that torrid first quarter. Quiet in number 2. Guarded now by Buck Williams. Illegal defense, number 2.
And that's all Charles Barkley. He is such a smart basketball player. He's just waiting and waiting to see what they're doing. The Knicks are running all over the place right now, and it's because of Charles Barkley. He's making them move around. He probably draws 2 illegal defenses a game just by the way he plays.
Now they caught Charlie Ward for the second time, and so Mario Ellie goes to the free throw line.
And it's funny, you're probably saying, well, he causes them now because it's Olajuwon and Drexler on his team. He did it everywhere he goes. He causes illegal defense. He did it in Philly, and he does it in Phoenix, and now he's doing it again in Houston. It's the way Charles Barkley plays.
Drive you nuts?
It drives you crazy because you don't know when he's trying to score or when he's trying to bluff you. He's just down there playing chicken right now with everyone.
Here's Barkley after Ellie gets the technical. Up and under, no. Oh, did he want it?
Yeah, he did. And you can see that time he was going to try to score. He went to the bucket to score, but no one trapped because they thought he was playing chicken again. He gets the free bucket.
Oakley's second foul. Barkley back at the free throw line.
I mean, just watch him here. He's just looking around and waiting. He's waiting to see what happens. But right now he knows, well, this time I'm going to try to shoot the ball. What they do in shoot-arounds, the coaches, they sit around and they say, well, let's go on the dribble when we think it's a threatening dribble. With Charles Barkley, you never know when it's a threatening dribble. He's a good bluffer.
Yeah, what is a threatening dribble?
That's what
I'm learning from you.
A threatening dribble is when the guy is threatening to score.
Okay.
But we never know. I think he's always threatening.
Exactly. Yeah, some people consider Barkley a threat.
Yes.
6 or 6 from the free throw line and a total of 18 points tonight for Charles. And a 17-point lead, one shy of the largest lead of the night, 4.5 to go in the first half of play. Allen Houston picked up by Mario Ellie. Another turnover. Oh, man. Been the story of the game thus far, that and Barkley's offensive output. Oakley picks him up again. Barkley backs up off the dribble. They dare him to take the shot. He almost caught air, and Barkley starts laughing.
Well, he's laughing because Oakley was acting like he was daring him to take the shot, but really Oakley was shaking out of his shoes. So he acted like, well, you're going to take that shot. But that was just a great move. I mean, Oakley had to tie his shoes after that shot. I mean, look at this. He's like, wow, did I shake him? He's more upset that he missed it, though. That was smart by Oakley not to go back out there.
Childs for 3. Yes.
The guards are keeping the Knicks into the game right now. John Starks with this play, Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, and Allen Houston. They're keeping them in the game.
14-point lead. Chris Childs with 11 points. Back in the lineup for the second time, the second game, as we said. He missed 3 games with back spasms. Skip pass. Randy Livingston. Here's Olajuwon, that patented baseline jumper. Barkley with another rebound.
Boy, he gets pinned. Buck Williams under the basket so he couldn't move. You don't see that happen to Buck Williams very often.
Double team, Allen Houston. Drexler picks up the pass and cans the 3. Beautiful execution from Barkley there. The lead is 17. Clyde Drexler in double digits now with 10 points. And a foul called on Elijah Wan.
Foul is on number 3, Randy Livingston. That's his first personal foul.
Now Patrick Ewing, who has played so well in the recent months, not a factor tonight.
He really isn't, and the reason he isn't, he's not getting the ball very much. He has very few touches in this game, and they need him right now to get more touches and get involved. He's 1 for 4 from the field right now. He's 1 for 4 because he's not in the offense, and he's not in the offense because they're turning the ball over.
Matt Maloney gives Randy Livingston the rest, so rookie guard for rookie guard. Here's Ewing, foul by Elijah Wan.
I think Patrick would have rather had that shot go in and them count it instead of them call that foul.
On number 34,
That's the first foul of Hakeem Olajuwon, who, of course, is a devout Muslim, is in the midst of the Feast of Ramadan right now, which means that he has to fast during the daylight hours. But he seems to handle it very well.
He really does. Like, games like tonight don't bother him because he gets to eat at night. It's the games and the days that really affect his play.
Time has been called.
Happy birthday, NBA.
Here come the discount long-distance sales reps again. They'd like some more of your precious time. Because if you've got a minute, they've got an offer of big savings over AT&T. Just one catch. That offer of big savings may show up at your door, but it won't show up on your bill. Has a discount long-distance company offered you big savings? Call us for the facts.
It's at home, anywhere.
Oh, that brother can play the
flute.
Have a
Super Bowl party. We're definitely going to have to cut that
That's
guest.
right. We got to make some cuts. First up, Tara Banks. I know she's in. Michael Johnson. My man. Tiger Woods. Lisa Leslie. George Gervin. Ken Griffin Jr. Harry Sanders. Cy Richardson. You know, he played the sergeant in double action.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's in.
The man's a thespian. And last on the list, Charles Barkley. Dear Charles, my dog ate the phone book.
We have an old team, and 4 games in 5 nights or back-to-back games, we're going to struggle at times. And I think our team is a little bit tired. You know, they traded a lot of players to get me. Me, Clyde, and Dream had to play more than we would like. And we played 2 games in 2 nights or 4 games in 5 nights, we're going to be tired.
Well, Rudy Tomjanovich does rely on his starting 5 for a lot of the production, Doc.
He really does, but if I had Olajuwon, Drexler, and Barkley, I would rely on those 3 guys also. What he says is their bench is not bad because their bench is always playing with at least 1, probably 2 all-stars with them all the time.
Go back and take a look at Barkley and Oakley just a few moments ago. Well, maybe not.
We can see the laugh. That's like the crime afterwards.
That's an oops.
Yes.
That's a turnover. 52-35, 3:02 to go in the first half of play. John Wallace, the rookie from Syracuse, off that 19-point game. He's guarded by Drexler. And a foul is called.
Tell you what, Chris Childs right now is giving Matt Maloney everything he can handle. One of the other things that I'm surprised the Knicks aren't going to right now is Clyde Drexler is holding John Wallace, and I think the Knicks should really think about going down there. He has such a size advantage over Drexler right now. For anything, he can get him in foul trouble.
Now Maloney picked up his first foul. Here's the pick and roll, and Childs with a little running scoop shot. Another rebound. That's 7 for Barkley. 52-35. New York has won the rebounding battle in its last 11 games, but they're losing it tonight. And to a Houston team that was badly out-rebounded in the loss to Chicago. Here's Maloney. Whoa!
It's a clinic. It's a clinic. They're getting everything they want. Charles Barkley was responsible for that whole play because he saw he had a mismatch with Allen Houston on him, and that caused all the rotation.
Largest lead of the night now. We are at 20 with 2:13 to go in the first half of play. Patrick Ewing, almost another turnover. Childs. Olajuwon comes out to help. Chris Childs, reverse layup. Nice.
Yeah, that is nice. They need him right now. He's the only one being really aggressive. I think Patrick Ewing would be, but he can't get the basketball.
13 points for Chris Childs. He leads all the Knicks. Jump ball. Chris Childs, as you said, giving Matt Maloney a bit of a lesson.
Yeah, he really is. He's going right at him. And I think Chris Childs is looking at this game right now and saying, I have a mismatch, and I'm going to try to exploit that right now.
Chris Childs, at 29 years of age, only his third in the NBA. Well-documented battle with alcohol, but he went to a clinic in 1993 and has been sober since. Also found his way finally with the New Jersey Nets, and then he cashed in as a big free agent. How about this?
And that's awful, because that was an awful toss. And everyone in the gym, except for Clyde Drexler, thought that there was going to be a whistle and a re-jump. Clyde kept running. He said, hey, I might get a layup out of this. And he did.
Back to a 20-point margin as we near 95 seconds to go, and Ewing is fouled. Watch Drexler.
And just watch everybody stand still after this. This was an awful toss. Clyde Drexler, I'll run. No one else did. He gets a free layup.
Olajuwon's second foul. Drexler with the layup. Jeff Van Gundy, his demeanor remains calm.
Not inside.
No.
Not inside. You know, we talk about quiet storms and hurricanes before the game. There's a hurricane inside of him right now, and the Knicks will hear it at halftime.
Ewing gets the first. Well, among the battles Van Gundy has to fight is the battle of the back page with the tabloids in New York City. He said at least when they've gone 17-3, he said they have taken the noose from around my neck.
Yeah, they have. And if this continues, they'll put it back on tomorrow. You know, he said something funny and very interesting. He said in New York, it's not the headlines you should read. You should read the articles, because sometimes they're not as bad as the headlines.
Mario Elie off the dribble. Wallace guarding him. Here's Drexler for three. No. Ewing clears the ball. That's 5 rebounds for Pat Ewing. 57-39 with 1:15 to go in the half. Maloney, but he knocks it out of bounds. Coming up at the Nike halftime, Reggie Theus is in our our Atlanta studios with Ernie Johnson. They'll have highlights from tonight's action as the Bulls and the Hawks go for 7 in a row. And to look at last weekend's retro series between the Celtics and the Knicks.
And the rumor was that Red Auerbach was coaching in that game.
I saw a pregame feature Saturday night with Tommy Heinsohn and Dave Busher on the train. It was kind of fun. Barkley is fouled again. You didn't think the uniforms were legit, though, right?
No, not at all. They were way too loose. I wore it. Well, I wasn't that old. I didn't really wear the retro uniforms, but my uniforms 10 years ago were not loose. Couldn't breathe.
Barkley back at the free throw line. John Starks gets ready to check back in for New York.
Checking into the game for the Knicks, number 3, John Starks.
John Wallace will get a rest for the remainder of the half.
One shot, let it lead.
And Charles shoots one more.
Well, one of the things the Knicks are known for, no easy layups. I'd say Charles Barkley would probably tell you that that was not an easy layup right there.
Back to a 20-point margin with 54 seconds to go. First half of play. Charles Barkley has 20. And Drexler has another turnover. Wow. Another steal.
I've never seen this from this Knicks team, at least. They're so talented, and they keep giving a great team another chance to up the league, and they will.
Barkley, yes, they will. He'll have a little bit to say to Oakley as he goes by him.
Well, he can say what he wants right now. He's up by 22 points. You just hope Oakley doesn't lose it, because he knows they're down by 22.
13 New York turnovers. Childs, Oakley, and they called Barkley for the foul.
He got away with a push, or he didn't get away with a push.
Barkley, that's his second personal foul.
Oakley and Barkley have words with each other yet again.
Charles
13 New York turnovers that have led to 18 Houston points.
Yeah, and only 7 by Houston, which in some games people would say is a lot, but 7 is fine. That's 14 for the game. I can take that. Only 4 points off those turnovers.
Oakley at the free throw line. He shoots a couple.
And we keep talking about the intensity. When you turn the ball over, as a player, you lose intensity. When you keep doing it over and over again, first you're looking at a guy, he made a turnover. Then the other guy makes a turnover. And you start pointing fingers, and you start getting frustrated. And you can see it on the Knicks' faces right now. They're a frustrated team because of their turnovers, nothing else.
Back to a 20-point margin with the final 16 seconds unraveling here at the Summit in Houston. Knocked out of bounds by Oakley.
Out of bounds. It's still Rockets.
And they're going to jaw at each other again. Careful.
Well, careful, because Barkley, he's up. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get him even more frustrated. That's smart. Oakley usually won't fall for things like that.
Barkley. 2 more. Oh, boy. What a first half for Barkley. Starks. Fouled. He'll shoot at the buzzer.
Matt Maloney, that's his second personal foul.
Barkley, 7 of 12 from the field.
Just doing everything, penetrating, bumping through people. He was going to score on that play. He was going to score because Oakley tried to rip him the last time and had something to say about it.
John Starks at the line.
He's having a great game right now. A great game mentally, physically, in every department.
And he's coming off a game in which he gave way to Dennis Rodman, and he was really angry about it.
And that's what great players do. That's what great athletes do, great fighters, great everyone. When you struggle, you find it deep. He's digging deep right now to show you that that was a fluke. That's not the way I play basketball.
Starks gets the first and will shoot one more. 4/10 of a second put back on the clock with the foul. Charles Barkley, 24 points and 7 rebounds.
That's a game. You know, that's a great game for a lot of good players.
Starks gets 2. Barkley. Rockets outscore New York 33-19 in the second quarter. John Starks trying to talk to Jeff Van Gundy. He's not going to make him very happy. We have reached halftime. It's a 20-point margin as Barkley leads the Rockets to a 63-43 edge.
Vin Baker.
You want to talk about the web? Let's talk about Jack Webb.
You want to tell us a little more about that?
Let's talk about security on the web. You know there are over 50 million people on the web, and they're not all nice.
Liars, cheats,
hackers, snoops,
con men.